Hi everyone, Katie Plescotch back with you with another AgSciting science lesson today. We are going to talk a little bit about what makes up our world. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and our presentation for today. We're going to work with some Play-Doh. So we'll do some different things with Play-Doh, and we'll talk about that here in just a second as we get our supply list up. So supplies, you need 1 container of Play-Doh. So I've got blue right here, trying to figure out my background. And then also a Play-Doh knife. You also need the Our World printable, which is located down in the description box. So you can either just pull that up or print that off. Also, if you don't have Play-Doh around the house or any clay, you can still do this. You just need some crayons, color pencils, markers, and then that printable that's down below. So it just becomes a coloring activity if you don't have the Play-Doh. So some steps we're going to take here today. We're going to roll our Play-Doh into a ball. So I've got my ball of Play-Doh here. You're going to want to get it as round as you can. And then you're going to take your Play-Doh knife and you're going to cut this ball in half, or as close to half as you can do. So you're going to have 2 pieces when you get done with this. So again, it's good ag literacy practice or knowledge, but also some practice with fractions. So we've got half. We're going to set one of these halves aside and then cut your remaining half that you have in half again. So we'll do that here. So we now have 3 different pieces, our 2 halves, and then our bigger half section that we did not cut apart. So half piece and 2 quarter pieces, like it says down there below. So if you look at the printable will now tell you that these 3 pieces, so the half and 1 of the quarters, makes up 3/4 of our world and represents the water that is a part of our world. And we'll set those aside. And like I said, it represents the water which covers the world. So we're going to take this quarter piece that we haven't cut. This is the parts of the world that is made up of land. So that land is made up of different pieces. And we're going to cut this piece in half, or as close to half as you can get it. And so this piece, this little sliver of a piece, represents land which is located in places people can't live and plants can't grow. So our polar areas, our swamps, places that are too hot, so like deserts, also fall into this piece of our Earth, of our planet. So this final piece that we have, you're going to cut this into 4 fairly even pieces. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've got 4 fairly even pieces here in my hands. And these represent inadequate soil, so soil that's not rich enough for food production. Our national parks, so land that we've set aside to protect wildlife and to use as recreational places. The land that we use for our cities, our towns, our schools, streets, grocery stores, things like that are made up of or included in one of these pieces. And then also the soil that we currently use for food production. So that's something to think about, is there's already soil used for food production, whether it is crops or raising our livestock on that land. So that is included in this as well. So next, the last step here is we're going to cut a very small piece off of this piece I have here representing the soil currently used for food production. We're going to cut a slim piece off of that here. So we've got this little piece. So it represents topsoil, or the thin layer of soil on which humans depend. Is a fixed amount of land that right now isn't in food production. So it's a fixed amount. So there's a finite amount of this soil left that we're not using. And so if we look back at the big piece that we have of water, our other quarter piece of water, and then our smaller pieces, this is a very, very small piece of our world. And as you can tell from the printout that you have, you can use that to kind of look at your pieces also and realize how small that topsoil layer is compared to the other parts that make up our world. What I do with my second graders in ag literacy is we color each section a different color. So water sections, we obviously color blue. So something that represents what that area might include. National parks, we try to color green. So remembering that green space that we have set aside. And just some things that when you think of that or look at your pie charts, that it'll trigger that memory that, hey, you know, those inhospitable places, those are red or orange, so that's not good for food production, crops, or raising livestock. So we also talked a little bit about what pie charts are and maybe where else they've seen pie charts. A lot of kids say pizzas, and that certainly is a type of pie chart. Teaches a little bit of fractions as well. So I will link that printable down below. And thanks for tuning in. I'll be back again next week with another lesson, and hope everybody is staying safe and healthy.